Hi, Maria. Welcome to Power Women Wellness. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I actually started off my week very relaxed, so I got a massage earlier, so I'm actually a little too chill. And so I'm very relaxed right now. Thank you.
What a great way to start your day and your week. I
I
love that.
know. I know. I don't know, but sometimes I'm like, I could totally go relax right now. Like now's not the time. It's Monday.
Yeah, and amazing to see you shift gears, like going from this like massage relaxed state to just shifting gears and diving right into podcast mode. That's kind of ninja. That's pretty cool.
I know, I know. I can do that. I can do that. But it's good. But I would love for our conversation to start with you talking about your journey. And I know it probably has shifted a lot from when you started, just your career in general, probably in your 20s to what it looks like now. And then we will just take it from there. But what I want to kind of hear what you did before and then what you're currently doing in your career right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long journey, right? An evolving journey. I always say
Yeah.
that I say, when we look back at our timeline of all the different things that we did, I always love to see how it was all just pieces of a puzzle. And I feel like the puzzle's still coming together and I can't wait
Yeah.
to see what's ahead. But it kind of started I was in a completely different field. I had started two other businesses before. One was in real estate and development with my husband.
Okay.
That was great. And then I went off on my own and I went into the legal field and I was working for myself and did really, really well. In just 6 months, I had hit six figures. So that was great. And then through a personal journey, through my infertility journey, I wrote a book and then I started to just help women with their journey. And what started to happen was my clients were
Wow.
evolving. And from that evolution, they became these moms that all of a sudden didn't want to go back to corporate. They had ideas
Mm.
or thoughts or dreams. And we started to share about that. And then they would ask, like, well, you've started a couple of businesses. Can you just share with me like what would I need to do? And so again, like it just kind of naturally evolved into I would help them bring this kind of dream or idea to life and help them launch. And I loved doing that more than anything. And I've been doing
Mm.
that for the past 10 years through my own ups and downs, of course. And now I'm just in a really awesome place. I get to work just, 3 days a week. So um, I feel like I found a schedule and a place and a lifestyle that really feels aligned while I continue to serve, if that makes sense.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And that on like, yes, it's a little different, but also like it's not at the same time. Like I can see your transition into it. And I feel like the beginning of the business is always the most exciting because yeah, you have so many thoughts and so many things. And I know we have mutual friends that we've seen this happen to them of just like, I want to start this. And there's just so many things to do, so many thoughts about it. And it's hard to organize sometimes, especially if this is your first venture. You kind of don't, I mean, I didn't even know what the heck I was doing when I started, right? Like we're totally winging it. And so to have someone to be able to guide you through that, to like lessen the intensity of it is really nice. So I love that.
100%. Yeah.
And I know you've had a history, as you mentioned, with like infertility, but some autoimmune diseases and just burning out because you've built, a handful of businesses. I mean, I could feel like I can only handle one. So you being like, okay, a couple, like, holy cow. So what was your turning point that made you decide to like kind of rebuild everything on your own terms?
Yeah, that was so like I said, there was all these ups and downs. So that one, the most painful, there was this one moment that caused the biggest shift for me. And I said, you know what, we can't just have businesses. We can't just try to be successful or be successful, right? We have to find a way to do it in a way that works for us and our dreams and our lifestyles and our values and things that and our health, right? And so I learned that the hard way myself. I'm like
Mm.
super type A, high achiever, recovering perfectionist, and I was go, 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 and just aiming to reach my goals all and at like any cost, right? And so it came with a cost, and I suffered really bad burnout to the point where it became a chronic illness, and it stopped everything. It just put a pause
Yeah.
on everything. So that's when it hit me really hard that if I don't take care of myself, I I
Nothing
will
works.
never, that's priority. And
Yeah.
you can say all you want. I have these goals, I have these dreams, I want to go to this mountaintop, but you're never going to get there unless you actually honor your body. So yeah,
Yes. I love
burnout
that.
survivor.
Yeah. And I feel like I hope not. I do feel like things are shifting, but I do feel like some people wait to have that heart attack or to have that thing to kind of have that epiphany. I'm hoping that changes so we don't have to go through these hard things in the first place and we just naturally know like, okay, this is a priority, but everything does like just fall wayside. I mean, I feel like everyone's probably had some type of experience, whether it's like a cold or a flu, like you know how that is, like especially being a mom, like I don't want to feed my kids or cook. Well, I want to feed them, but I can't because I'm like tired and I'm in bed and I have a fever. And like even just something so simple like that is just such a why rude awakening for how I show up for my family. And then, of course, how I show up for work. And then I don't want to work because I'm not feeling good. So yeah, it's the biggest correlation. And that's why the idea that taking care of yourself is selfish is actually the opposite. I feel like it's the opposite of selfish because you're able to show up for people in the way that you want to. So
Yes. Yes.
I get that. But I know many women feel very trapped with trying to take care of themselves and having that ambition. I would say a lot of entrepreneurs are probably more the type A, not all of them, but I would say that's more common than not. So, how did you learn how to balance both of them? And like, what does that look like for you now? And you kind of already mentioned it, like you're only working 3 days a week.
Mhm.
But even in the beginning, I'm sure you didn't jump there, but like, what was that transition like?
Yeah, it definitely didn't jump there. I wish I would have. It was a long journey. But you know what? The best part of the journey is that's where you get to learn. And then what you learn and how you grow from what you're learning is what you get to pay forward, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, long journey, but it started with just instead of working 7 days a week and all create all sorts of hours. When I first started, I was running my legal business and then starting my coaching business at night. So it was nonstop, right? And of course, we have to do that.
Yeah.
I want to paint this picture that you don't have to work hard. No, you're gonna put the hours in, right? Especially,
Yeah.
and you have to find the schedule that works for you. So I always say, my biggest epiphany was it's not about managing your time; it's about managing the events of your day and managing your life. So, we all get the same amount of time in a day. But what I started to realize is how am I managing the events, the tasks, right?
Mm.
What part of the day am I putting them into? Am I putting them at the start of my day when I have the most energy? Am I putting them at the end of my day? I had to switch things around because I was working at night and I was like, I know I'm showing up,
Yeah.
but I'm not showing up in the best way possible. Oh, and I shouldn't be doing marketing at 11 o'clock at night. I should be doing that in the morning because my brain is like mush at that point, right?
Yes.
So I figured out where to put the events of my day. And I also figured out how to prioritize um, based on importance and income producing actions, not urgency
Mm.
anymore. Because as a mom, our life is filled with like unexpected urgent moments. We got to
Yeah.
pick up all of a sudden, oh my gosh,
Everything feels urgent.
yes. And so finding out how to manage the urgent moments and focus on executing on the important tasks was like the biggest game changer for me. And
Nice.
figuring out what is it that I need to do? Do I need to bring help? The power of no, making powerful requests, collaborating with community, just bringing in all these different components to my day and my life started to change the way I ran my day and my business and my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And how that looks like, I would assume is very different for everyone because some people like that slower start to the morning, but they actually find themselves more creative like end of day, which is that kind of sounds atypical because I feel like I'm like you. Like I feel like my major thinking is like fresh when I wake up and I'm just kind of on a good roll. And then yeah, usually by the nighttime I'm wanting to wind down. But I'm a morning person though, right? So someone who's like a nighttime person has always been a nighttime person their whole life, they probably thrive with maybe more creative things in the evening. So it really depends on like that person's, I don't know, the needs and wants, which I
Yeah.
love
How
because
they work. Yeah.
entrepreneurship is different for everyone, which I love. But I'm very similar to you. So that's like how my brain is. So sometimes if I am behind and I do have to catch up on some things at night, I'm like, this sucks.
Oh no, the brain's not working the same. But you're
Yeah.
right, because, and that's the key, figuring out what's my operative and how do I
Yeah.
leverage that? So if it's nighttime, then you organize your events
Yeah.
that way, right? If it's after putting the kids to sleep, if you're a young mom, then
Yeah.
that's what works for you. Then yeah, keep going with
Yeah. And different seasons. Yeah. When my kids are older now, so they're 15, 11. But yes, when they were younger, oh my gosh, that was like a key time to be able to get some things done was I like gave myself 2 hours after they went to bed at like 7 and I tried to shut off at like 9 or 10, but like from 7 to 9, which is, I feel like that typical like wind down time. No, that was my wind up time because that was kind of the only time I had with little kids. Now it's so different. Like, no, they're older, they don't need me as much. So I can have a little bit more of a normal schedule too. So I remember those seasons of life in general, just
for
kind of
sure.
swaying you back and forth and changing things.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's that flow and free, just being
Yeah.
aware and then taking action on it. Yeah,
Yes.
for
And I
sure.
love that you brought up saying no. This is not a problem for me at all. You can ask all my friends, even Megan knows. I absolutely will say no. And I love canceled plans. It's like my favorite thing in the world. So I know a lot of women struggle with that though. And whenever I know someone and they struggle with that and they ask me, I'm like, what do you just say no? Like what's the big deal? So do you have any more advice outside of my advice of being like, just say no? What's so hard about that
Oh
for
my
the
God.
women that struggle with that?
Yeah, so you're 100% right. Just say no, right? And of course, to your point, it's for some people that's easy, and for some it's like, oh, but what if I, disappoint them, let someone down? Oh my gosh, they did something for me, and now I'm gonna flake on them. I'm not doing this back in return. Like, I remembered when I started to bring in community to help me with carpooling or after school activities or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say no. They took my kid to
Yeah.
gymnastics like 4 times in a row. So there's all these things that go on. And then there's also like the people pleasing side of us, and just whatever's going on for all of us is different. And that's perfectly okay. And I say, one way to look at it, what's helped me, because I've experienced all of those things, like I don't want to let someone down, or oh my gosh, they showed up for me, I need to pay this back, right? um I say, if you think of the power of no as an opportunity to open up more yeses for you, more aligned yeses for you, then you might start to
Mm.
have a different response and a different relationship to that power of no. So if I say no to this one thing, it allows me to be a yes to something bigger and better and more productive or more aligned, right? So seeing the power of no as a bigger yes to something that
Mm.
makes more sense can help us shift something inside. It's just a reframe that can be supportive at times when you're like cringing to say no.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Your answer is way better than mine because as you were listing those things, I'm like, okay, so they need therapy. So I like that answer way better than mine.
Love it.
Okay, so what's one piece of wisdom? Because you've really like sat down with some really big names in business. So what's one piece of wisdom that you took away from those rooms that you now bring to your clients? And yes, like one key.
Hmm. Yeah, the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway, gosh, so many, right? Because I think
Yeah.
I've been in a mastermind with, yeah, key players, but the one thing that continues to ring over and over again, year after year, right, month after month, and it's something I still try to bring to all of my clients because I feel like it's a game changer, is the importance of clarity when it comes to, and I know people are like, wait, I'm not even clear about what that means, like clarity. But clarity when it comes to every single goal, whether that is your overall goal for the year for your business, right? And if you have this goal, then have clarity on, like, if that's my goal for the end of the year, then what's my goal for the quarter? Okay, then what's my goal for the month within that quarter? Okay, so if that's my goal for the month, this month, what am I doing every week? And when you have that, so basically reverse engineering, and when
Yeah.
you have clarity every step of the way like that, you're no longer going to be waking up and wondering, what am I supposed to do today? What's the
Mm.
best step I can take, the fastest way I can reach my goal this month? You're not going to be wondering what's like my top 3 income producing actions today. You're going to be
Yeah.
super clear on what it is that you need to do every day so that you're not wasting time, right? You're not going around in circles and doing all the things that you think you should be doing to start
Mm,
a business, but it's actually the most efficient, customized action steps that help you get to where you want to go. So I feel like most of the time when I'm talking to a company, whether it's a startup entrepreneur or one of like the multi-million-dollar clients I have, something that's always missing is clarity, whether it's
mm,
on their marketing, their monthly goal, their email sequence, their income tasks, how to manage your team. It's just there's always something missing and there's a
mm.
fuzziness around it. So just drill into that. If you can drill into that, then you'll know what needs to be done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And then a question came up in my head when you were talking, and I was thinking like, okay, this might be for more startup companies, but I'm like, no, actually, this could be for any stage because any stage that we're at, there's always the next level that we've never been at before, right? So there's so much of the unknown, regardless if we're having multi-million dollar businesses or just a startup. So
Yeah.
then I was thinking like, yes, working backwards. And I was always taught that as well of your bigger picture goal. And then you break it down into like quarterly, monthly, daily, weekly. But then again, any stage that you're at, there also is questions of, well, what do like you have your goal, but what do you do to make that happen, right? Because there's so much in like the marketing world to I don't know, they'll tell you like this is it or this is it. And I feel like with entrepreneurs, there's a little bit of FOMO too, because we feel like we're missing the secret. And that's why people, I feel like there's always conferences and masterminds because they're like, what is the secret to everything? And actually, a conference I just went to in Arizona, I love that she said this because she's like, yeah, I've been a part of masterminds and everything like that. And she was like, my biggest takeaway from it was that there is no secret. There is nothing that you're missing. There's yes, a messaging, dialing messaging, and being consistent, right? But at the end of the day, she's like, we're and she, I don't know. She felt that, and then I was like, I've always felt that too. Of just like maybe this is the mastermind. Maybe they have the secret that like will take me to the next level. Anyways, I thought that was like I was like, that's the biggest thing I took away from that conference was like I'm not missing anything, which I loved hearing that. But anyways, going back to that is even though you have your goals, how do you even know what to do in that goal, whatever that is? What actions do you take? What if you don't know what it is to get you to do that monthly goal and then quarterly goal?
Yeah. So there's going to be so, and I love what you just said. It's not a secret. I think it's more of your own self-discovery, right? And
Mm,
that's like the best part. I always feel like having your business is one of the most amazing personal growth journeys because you learn so much about
so
yourself.
true.
You stretch, you celebrate, you hurt. I mean, it's like you learn
Roller
so much
coasters.
about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're setting a goal, it's awesome because you have this target and you're like, okay, now I know I'm
Yes.
going there. Okay, I'm going to aim for that. However, that's nice if you're playing like something that's like target practice. And
Mhm.
it, of course, you need to know your destination in order for you to embark on the journey, right?
Yes.
However, there's going to be events and moments and learnings along the way that's going to help you realize like, oh, I may need to adjust this end destination, this end goal. And there's all these things that are unknown. Like, so it's like you trying to go on a hike that you've never been on before, and you've got this map, and you're like, okay, I know I want to get to that summit or wherever you're going. And I know it's going to take 5 miles or whatever, 5 days, and you're looking at it, but it's not until you're on the ground that you're like, oh, there's an uphill here, and maybe it's better I make a left and then just kind
Hmm.
of go this way to go up that way because there's like an avalanche here. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's all the things on the ground that you just don't know yet. And so in order for you to learn about those though, you got to be on the journey. And in order to make the adjustments like the pilot does on the airplane, you got to be on the ride. So
Yeah.
set the destination, embark on the ride, and learn along the way. And you may be modifying your micro steps and your micro goals, but
Like
you
what's working, what's not working. Got
yeah,
it.
and you're going to gain clarity. So let's say you start, you want to create a marketing sequence, or let's say you want to create a program. And you're like, I think this program is going to be amazing because it's going to help women to do X, Y, and Z. But great. So start that, go out and have your beta run, like every company does. You got to have
Hmm.
a beta run to test the idea And when you're testing the idea with some beta clients, that's where you're going to learn what you need to modify. And then you're making an adjustment on the goal, but you don't know what the adjustment is until
Yeah.
you take the action. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that's, I guess, I guess I don't even actually wouldn't even call it a shortcut, to be honest, because every business is different. Is having like a coach, someone to kind of guide you who has that experience of all of that work, and then helping you understand, what, like how certain results tell you, okay, this is a result telling you to pivot, or this is a result saying like, hey, this is working. So that's not a shortcut per se, because again, every business is different. So what worked for one business may not work for your business, like a different marketing strategy and stuff like that. So either way, you still have to kind of go through the journey and just know that that is exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be up and down. You're going to have things that don't work, have things that work. And the whole point is just keeping that like your eye on the destination, but pivoting as needed. And you'll learn that. I know I've learned that. And
Yeah.
sometimes those are really expensive, like mistakes too, though.
Oh my gosh.
I've
Yes.
done that with like advertising, and I spent thousands of dollars, nothing came out of it. No, like you said, I think it's the biggest growth journey though. And there are some things that like hurt, whether it's emotionally, mentally, financially. But then at the same time, I look back at that and I'm like, wow, that really grew me
Yeah.
to be who I am today, maybe as like a leader, or just, being more, I don't know, savvy in business, whatever. It's all a part of the journey, which sucks, but it's part of it. That's what you sign up for when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it is. You got to be a yes to that journey. You got to be a yes
Yes.
to that kind of stretch for sure.
Yes.
And
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, to your point about like having a guide, how different the journey could be. Like if you go on a
Mm,
hike on your own, can you do it on your own? Yeah, you could go on a hike. I'm always like, you can do it on your own, but how different is it to like go up to Mount Everest and do this completely unknown thing with guides, right? Like it makes a
yeah.
world of a difference. And then they're helping you with your specific needs, like and
Yes.
your strengths and your skills. So
I love that.
yeah, I love
I
that.
love that. And you talk about building businesses too that like really fuel your soul and not drain it. What questions should women be asking themselves to know if their work is aligned with their purpose?
That's a really good question. So I want to say what I have found personally and professionally, both for myself and my clients, is there's going to come a point that if you're on the court and playing the game, right, you started the ride and
Hmm.
you started to take action. Like I said before, every action is going to lead to clarity about the next action, right? So when you have started a business, there's going to come a moment where you're going to sense this something's off. This no longer feels right. And it could be something is being compromised, or it can just be that something just needs a modification or a pivot. So and you start to feel it because for those of us that have a business that we are passionate about and feel purposeful, has meaning, it fuels us. Like when we're out there doing the thing, like when I'm with my
Yeah.
clients, I can be with clients all day and still have energy just because it's just this amazing exchange that's going on, right? But
Yeah.
when I'm focusing on marketing, I'm like, low energy. It's just
Yes.
not feeding my heart. It's a to do. So for me, I'll say it this way: it was a signal to outsource that, right?
Yeah.
Give it to someone that loves marketing. So it's the same kind of internal signal that goes on when your business is kind of feeling like that, maybe the thing that makes you cringe, like marketing.
Hmm.
And when you're lighting up, when you're doing this other thing, you're like, oh my God, that right there is feeding me. Now, if it's no longer feeding you, there's something in there that needs to be modified. And it could just be an outsourcing, because I've hit those rocks too, where I'm like, this starts is feeling more like a
Yeah.
to do. And it's just, I'm in the weeds and I need to go back into my zone of genius. It's where I light up.
Mm.
And so tuning in and noticing, am I still doing the thing that lights me up and feeds my soul?
I love that. I love that. And I relate to that so much. As of right now, when this podcast comes out, it should be open. But I recently went through the same thing. I've been doing this for 10 years and it still lights me up, but I have definitely, while I still do patient care and look over labs, I find myself more in the business side, which I don't hate, but I also love the clinic side. And I feel like when I started my business, I had this whole idea of having like an in-person clinic and multiple in-person clinics. And then COVID hit. And then, yeah, I think I just got a little comfy because I'm just like, this is nice, less overhead, being able to still do and achieve what we want because we've helped thousands of women now. But I recently just found myself like kind of in that funk. And I'm like, I need to go back and like remap out like what do I want New Beach to look like? Because it's been my baby for 10 years. So it's nothing new, but I also felt stagnant and plateaued. And so then I did that. And then I realized something I put on my list was like, I really want a in-person clinic. So as oh, can you hear me? Did I break up at all?
Yeah, you froze for a second, but you're good.
Okay, okay. I know someone keeps calling me, so I keep like denying it, and I'm like, oh, I think it's freezing me. Um, Anyway, so I was like, I want an in-person clinic. That's always been on my to-do
Mm.
list, but it just somehow got kicked off to the side. Anyways, so as of this recording, we should be open when I publish this episode. But right now, we just signed a lease and we're making that happen. And I already feel like there's like a renewed excitement and reconnection to my business. So I very much am familiar with what we were just talking about. It feels very current right
Oh my
now.
gosh, congratulations. That's awesome. I can feel
Yes.
the like you, even your face, your energy, your tone, everything just lit up. So that right there is perfect. Like it just it's proof. Like it just see how
Yeah.
you feel. Is all of a sudden, are you being fueled with energy and joy? Oh my gosh, follow that, like your inner compass,
Yeah. That's
GPS.
so true. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry, there's a lot of fear and anxiety behind that too. Because
Sure.
that's lots of big changes financially and remapping out everything from like new offerings to it's just such a different new business and marketing strategies because having an in-person location is very different from a virtual business. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of like fear and anxiety, but obviously I'm not letting that stop me. But that's there. We've had some breakdowns already. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I call it being scare-sighted. That's a good thing, actually.
Get
That's a good
excited.
indicator.
I
That's a
love
good
that.
inner feeling. I'm like, if you're scared and excited, because you should be a little bit of both, right? Like feel some, then that means you're about to stretch. You're going into something that's going to stretch you. So
Exactly.
that's awesome.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That is definitely where I feel like I think we all sometimes hit that, like, again, that comfy zone. And then you're like, well, why am I not growing? Why have I plateaued? And it's just like, well, I just haven't stretched myself in a long time. And so
Yeah.
it feels good to finally do that. But with marketing, because there are lots of marketing things out there, do you have a favorite marketing strategy that you love, you've stuck by for years and years?
Marketing strategy is really this goes back to really knowing how you work, being super
Mm,
clear on like what is it that works for me? What are my skills? What are my strengths? What do I enjoy doing? And getting super clear on what works for you and the business and your market. So it's going back to that thing that I talked about before. So much clarity is missing on all these components, right? When it comes to marketing, for me, I picked three marketing pathways, and I always suggest to everybody pick the three marketing pathways that have proven to work, meaning work. What does that mean? They've converted, right? That's
mm,
want to make sure our marketing is working, but through conversions, right? And then there's micro conversions, but we want to make sure that it's working and
hmm
it's working for our audience. So it's working. What do I mean? It's working for our lifestyle and who we are. And it's also working for the people we serve. So for me, what's worked for me specifically, and this is going to be different for everybody, is public speaking. It's something that I started doing.
That's scared sided.
um, I've been speaking forever, and so it came naturally for me. And
You
then,
are natural.
thank
Yes, I
you.
will say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It did stop. I experienced some trauma through like I was assaulted at one point in New York City, and I all of a sudden I went into this shell, so I stopped. So
Mm.
I had to work through that fear, and then I went back into it. I was like, oh my gosh, I lost one of my like things
Yeah.
that works, but I got it back. So my number one, I have three. My number one is definitely public speaking.
Wow.
And it's not just going out to speak. I always say to someone, I see people go out and speak all the time or have some kind of speaking platform. And I'm like, get super clear on why that works for you though, right? Like, what is it that
hmm
you're doing during that, conversation? Sometimes you have 15 minutes, sometimes you have 3 days at a conference. what is going on that is working for you? Again, maybe the conference and the audience. So, what I
I
would
love
say to
that.
answer that question is find the marketing pathway, the number one, top three that works best for you and your business.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Public speaking definitely too has like a really big ROI, lots of trust built pretty quickly compared to other routes. But do I feel like I'm definitely going to shit my pants before doing it? Absolutely. And still to this day. And I just like after the first 5 minutes, I'm good to go. Like everything in me calms. Like I'm not nervous anymore. I'm not like, I'm nothing. It's just I'm in my flow, but it's just the anticipation, I think, and also not knowing like how is this audience? Are they going to be reactive or are they going to be like, look bored the whole time. And so that's just like you get in your head with that. But yeah, I still feel like I'm absolutely gonna have diarrhea and it sucks.
Oh my gosh, it's funny you say that. First of all, I still, because of what I shared before, that whole incident, I still have this little like residue that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to like dissolve that too and work through that. I get the anticipation is like, so I have all these little tools before I hit the stage and the lights and to calm down. But like you said, in like 10 minutes, I'm okay. But I see you and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're natural. Look at you right now. You're just free flowing. And it's really
I mean,
awesome.
I'm also probably too, I'm very open. I'm very vulnerable. I will talk about all the taboo things that most people are like, oh my gosh. And so sometimes I think, that can sometimes not be accepted as well. So I think sometimes there's a little bit of get in my head of that, of just like, oh, that's not typically something you want to talk about on stage, but I'm like, let's talk about it.
I love that. That's so refreshing. Please don't ever remove that. Keep that. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh,
I said
that-
I love just reminding people that like even behind entrepreneurship, we're all just humans. Tend to have like very similar things. Even though we all have different paths and histories and traumas, we all like deal with our own things. And I just like let's not like hide behind that. Let's just bring it out in the open because it makes everyone feel more normal.
I agree. Oh my gosh, 100%.
So
Yes.
as we wrap this up, what legacy do you hope to leave behind through your work in your life?
Ooh, that's a deep one. That's a good one.
A loaded question.
Yeah, and it is, it connects to my mission, like the whole my big why, right? Why do I show up? Why do I do this? And why will I continue to do this for, I don't know, indefinitely?
Yeah,
I don't see myself retiring. And it's because I
I
would
don't either.
yeah, right. Why? I'm like, I love this is what I want to do
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Um, so I would love to see a new path, literally, seriously, paved forward for women, for our upcoming daughters, females, where they don't see us having to let go of our dream because of all the other things we have to do as women. We
Yeah.
are multi-passionate, and a lot of the times what breaks my heart more than anything is when I see a woman actually succeed. She's actually even hit the seven-figure mark. She's now going on to multiple sets. She's cracked the code. She's there. She's modeling. And then even she wants to shut down the business because life is pulling her, family's pulling her, health is pulling her away, and it doesn't feel doable. And that to me, if we can crack that and we can actually model how to have a successful business and not have to shut it down,
Yeah.
it will show, we will set the example for the upcoming generation. Yes, you can. It will take work, it will take community. Actually, we have to do it with in collaboration. We can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So I would love to trailblaze that and show how it's actually done and show like you could do it. You don't have to shut it down. You can live out your dream and do it in a way that's aligned without the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, yay. Thank you for coming on and sharing all your good little golden nuggets and your experience. And hopefully, people leave very motivated and inspired to get out of their comfy zone and to fuel their dream. So, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lahana. I appreciate you. Thank you for putting this message out and inspiring women. I feel like this is a collaboration in itself. So thank you for having me.